എല്ലാരും അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും വിളിച്ച് എല്ലാരും ഒന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യിപ്പിച്ചേ. ആദർശ്, അനില, സുരജ്. നമ്മുടെ സമയമാണ് പൊക്കോണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്, അതുകൊണ്ട് എല്ലാരും പെട്ടെന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യുക. Good afternoon, ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon. So only half of the class is there right now. I don't know what is the problem in joining for the other half. They might be joining in between. So shall we start now or should we wait for 5 more minutes?
It's up to you. Whenever it's ready, you can tell me to start. I can start.
Okay, then I guess we'll wait for just 5 more minutes and maybe
Okay.
by 2:20, 2:21 we'll start by that time.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I guess we will start the session.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Trainees, today we have with us Nomomita. Okay. She is actually a industry-oriented lady, and she has done her BTech in civil engineering and then completed MBA from RICS, Noida. And her specialization in MBA was in construction economics and quantity surveying. And the person with us today is actually a co-founder and director of the Alpha Consulting Engineers India Private Limited. And she is also into numerous fields of project management. And her main expertise, as you can see, is in quantity surveying, project management, and also contracts management. And yeah, we have her with us, and she will be, taking you through the industry flavor of MSP. Okay. So MS project, we have gone through the basics. Okay, fundamentals have been covered. So now Nomomita is here with us, and she'll be taking us through the industry-oriented MSP, how it is put into practice in a little more advanced level. So over to you, ma'am. We welcome you for the online session, and yes, looking forward to getting into more associations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your interaction and giving me such an opportunity to interact with the people of your institute. And I am also, very happy to get this platform where I can also learn. Because every people, I don't think like they are only a students, because I'm also on the sitting at the student sides as well, sometimes very often still now. And I feel we are all professional and we know many of the things, and we everyone has to say something, and I can know many things from other people's as well. So hello everyone, and I am Navamita, already sir has mentioned, and I'm not further delaying the session. I'm just straightway starting this session. I hope I'm audible. Everyone can listen to me. Can you please reply on the chat box, please?
Yes, you are perfectly audible.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So I'll start with a famous quote by Oscar Wilde, that experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes. So please do mistakes and get experience. So don't fear to do mistakes. And for this session, particularly when you are learning a software, I must mention that please focus on the fundamental and try to understand what is the concept behind this. And please don't just rush behind knowing the options, or like how the software is running. But it's good to know the basic concept, because all of you are a project management students, and our industry, especially our construction industry, are very much fragmented. And here we deal with complex projects, right? So applying your theoretical knowledge to the industry is very much important. Especially it is good that you all of you are going for the internship. So I am trying to give you the flavor of how we can apply your concepts to the industry. So I will request you all to be understand the concepts and then apply it, try it, and ask questions in between if you feel to ask, if you have any doubt. So yes, so today's discussion, um, it's almost for 3 hours, but we have uh, 20 minutes. We are delayed for the session. So I'll try to cover as much as possible. And in between, if you want to take break, I can take a break for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, because 2 hours at one go, it's probably sometimes people cannot carry on with this. So we can take breaks in between. And then second thing is, uh, no, it should be a two-way discussion. It should be a two-way discussion, and I will ask you small questions, not complicated questions or not tough questions. So I would request you to attempt those questions. Don't hesitate to attempt the questions, and don't think too much whether the questions will be whether the answers will be right or wrong. So instead of thinking this dilemma, you just reply, because if you don't attempt, there is less chance to learn. So attempt. If it is if you are doing mistake, that's okay, then you will gain some experience again. So and if you want to speak sometimes for your doubts, you can just raise your hand. We have here a hand raise button on the top of the on the of the window. You can see it's a hand raise button. uh, I am pressing the hand raise button. Can you see it's hand raised? Sir, can you see it? If
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
okay, okay. So you just need to raise your hands. Yeah, I can see Anila. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So, or you can comment on the chat box. It will be good. So, I think already you have learned some of the basics um, of the MSP, right? The basic class has been done, right? All of you know some basics of the MSP, right?
They should be knowing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'll start with the quiz then. Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, I'll start with questions. So my first question is, what is the summary task in Microsoft Project? So you have options. Uh, so you can choose. You can choose from your option. You can reply on chat box. What is the summary task in Microsoft Project? A task that summarize the project overall progress. B, a task that represents a group of subtasks. C, a task with no duration or resource assigned. D, a task that marks the completion of the project phase. Which one you feel will be best suited? Just gaze it if you don't know. It's no harm in saying a wrong answer. It is not a real quiz, so you can attempt. Reply on chat box, please.
Students, you can type in the options in the chat box. Never mind whether it is right or wrong. Just give your option. That's it.
Anila says it's option B. Okay, okay. So many of you has given the right answer actually. It's option B. The answer is option B. A task that represents a group of subtasks. So we'll move on to the next question. What is the milestone in a Microsoft project? What do you understand by milestone in Microsoft project? So Jasmine, would you like to answer? Suraj says B, Tanivi says B, Hardeep says A, Anila says A and B. So one option you have to choose, Anila. So choose one. Diksha says option A. Devdasan says option B. Okay, so let's check what's the answer. Asmi says option B. So answer is option B. So it seems you understood very well. Most of you understood it very well. A task that marks a significant event or achievement in the project is your milestone. So does a milestone has any duration impact? Do you feel a milestone has a duration impact? If you change or if you mark a milestone, do you have a duration impact?
I guess they are reluctant to speak and they are just using the chat box.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I can see. So, Suraj has replied yes. Anila has replied yes. Okay. Okay. You can say it has impact, but initially, how we assign the task, right? So that time we have to give some duration. Like if we have some brick work, so and brick work we can assign like 3 days of brick work or 5 days of brick work. But after brick work, if we go for plastering or painting the wall or putting the wall, so we can mark a milestone up to this line, up to this activity there is a milestone. So there will not be any impact on duration in your uh, MS project. So sometimes you have to be careful what we learn in the theories or exact meaning is not the similar in a Microsoft project. So in Microsoft projects, the terminologies can be changed. No, it should be similar, but you have to know how to imply it, which means what. So it is a mark only. It will mark what time or what date or up to what activity you will achieving your milestone. Probably you set your milestone, so it has no impact on duration. So I'll moving on the next question. What is the predecessor task in Microsoft project? It's a very easy question. What is the predecessor task in the Microsoft project? Option A is a task that follows another task, a task that has depends on other tasks, a task with the shortest duration. Option D is a task that is assigned to a specific resource. So which option do you feel is best suited here for this question? Reply on the chat box, please. What is the predecessor task in Microsoft project?
Students, you can select the best option that's suiting what is the predecessor task.
Dev Darshan says option A. Amina says option A. Alex says option A. Others options A. Okay, so Harjit says that he is not, for him, the slides are not changing. For others, is it changing? Sir, can you please reply
The slides
whether
have, yeah, the slides have actually changed. It is showing what is a predecessor task in Microsoft project.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
guess there may be a network issue. That's
yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Hanbi says option A. So most of you says option A. So let's check out. It's option B again. A task that has dependencies on other tasks. So that is your predecessors. Okay. So one task. So when we assign like task number, if we have task number A, B, C, suppose you consider these are your tasks, your A, B, C, and D. So if B is dependent on A, so A will be the predecessors. So this is what is the answer. Our task that has depends on other tasks. That's your predecessor. Moving on to the next question. What is the successor task in the Microsoft project? It is very easy now because you know the predecessor. So what is the successor now? Reply to the chat box. Option B. Asmi says option B. Anila says option B. Tithi says option B. So let's take the answer. Option B, yes. A task that follows another task is the answer. So my next question is, what is the purpose of setting up a calendar? It is very important in MSP, no? Before you start any MS projects, you set a calendar. So what is the purpose of setting up a calendar in MSP? What do you think? Option A is to define working hours and days for the project. Option B is to assign resource to the tasks. Option C, to create dependencies between tasks. And option D is to calculate the project's budget. What do you feel?
Devdarshan, please, Devdarshan, please mute yourself.
So everyone is saying it's option A. That means to define the working hours and days for the projects. Let's check out the answer. Yes, you are all correct. Answer A, to define the working hours and days for the projects. It seems you all know well, you started very well. So moving on to the last question. How is the critical path identified in Microsoft project? How is the critical path is identified in Microsoft project? Option A, it is the path with the longest duration. Option B, it is the path with the most tasks. Option C, it is the path that determines the earliest completion date for the projects. Option D, it is the path where any delay will cause a delay in the project's overall timeline. So Jasmine says it's option D. Asmi says option A. Harijit says it's option D. Alex says option A. Megha says option D. Devdarshan says option D. Suraj says option D. Adres says option A. Amina says option D. So any answers? Any more answers? Okay, option D. Griti. Giti. So answer is option D. Yes. It is the path where any delay will cause the delay in the project's overall timeline. So basically, there is no float. Critical path is where is zero float, right? So let's go to the next question. So what do you understand by resource? What do you understand by resource? Write in the comment box. What do you understand by resource? Any case, if you don't know, I am here to reply. So don't worry about it. I'll reply definitely. So what do you understand by resource? Resource is a very common term. You are probably all of you are familiar with your day-to-day activities, right? So uh, resource is a very common word. Just say the what you know. Okay, so Anila says goods or service essential for the completion. Okay, so she means goods, I think. So goods or services essential for the completion of the projects. Good, good. So any other answers? Suraj says 5 aims. Can you explain, Suraj? Can you turn on the mic, please, and explain a bit what is five, by what do you mean by 5 aims? Please turn on the mic, Suraj. Suraj, would you like to volunteer? Okay, so Suraj says material, manpower, money, machinery. Good, good, very good, very good. Asmi says anything required to perform the task. Very good, very good, very good. So all of you know actually all the essential elements that is required to perform the task. That is your resource. And Suraj has mentioned that that is five aims, or I would say it's LMP. That is your labor, material, plant, and machineries, right? So so for an example is you have to construct a 250 brickwork, okay, 250 thick brickwork. And what are the elements need to complete this task? Probably, for an example, I'm telling this. You need brick, cement, sand, material, labor, tools and truckles, and other thing. On top of that, there will be some profits and overhead, right? So these are your costs. Then we need to know what is the need or purpose of resource allocation. What is the why do you need, what is the purpose of resource allocation here? Anyone can volunteer when you know the resources. So why should we allocate it in Microsoft project? What is the need or what is the purpose of the allocation? Can you guess it? You can turn on the mic because if you turn on the mic, everybody, all the participants can listen to it, and I'll also feel like I am interacting with the humans rather speaking and chatting. So it's good, it's give you good feeling. It is not, it is online class and these classes are not offline, so it's good to hear from you as well. I'll feel like I'm talking with the human. So please turn on your mic and participate.
To find an optimum quantity of these resources, we have to, let's say, minimize cost without compromising the quality of the work.
Okay. Right. Very good answer, Anila. Very good. So yes, it is to optimize. No, if we talk about the principle of project management, if you remember, what is the principle of project management? We have time, cost, and quality, right? Now you correlate with this. You can correlate. You can upload the total cost of the project. That is your budget. That is your budget. So if you know the LMP, the material, the five aims, or the labor, material, plant, and machinery is the cost, then you can easily allocate it to your task. And then you can have the cash flow. How will be the cash flow? Because ultimately, this project management, these principles, time, cost, and quality, especially this time and quality goes on hand. So we cannot ignore, although we are most of you will be upcoming project managers, so probably you will be specialized in making the schedule and focusing on the duration and how you can complete the task, and how you have to, if there is some delays happen, if some problem happens, how you can recover it. But still you have to know the cost components, because if you know the cost components, it will be easy for you to track the budget, to track the schedule, to track the project. So for in all aspects, you have to know the cost as well, and you have to at least upload the cost to your schedule. So this is the purpose. And at the end, when you upload your cost to your schedule, to your work breakdown structure, then actually you'll get the cash flow statement. At the end, you'll get the cash flow statement. And also you can, as Anila mentioned, you can optimize the duration. You can think what are the resource are available to you, what are the how many, it can be your human resource, probably you have a project manager, probably you have a site engineer, probably you have only few skilled laborers. but your tasks are huge. So you have to think how you can optimize with limited resource. Uh, and manage the time, manage the schedule. So you can identify that's this way you can identify the project constraint as well. And if you know the project constraints and bottlenecks at the beginning of the project itself, so it will be very easy for you to to prepare an accuracy, to build the accuracy in your schedule. So it will be good for your project. It will be on track. The project will be on track. So these are the way how we can optimize our productivity. We can think on the risk management as well, because we have talked about the calendar. So we have in setting during the setting of the calendar, what we do basically, so we don't only think about the uh, holidays, right? We also think about the weather forecast, where we can see how much rainfall might be it's going to happen in that particular region, or maybe if it is some snowy area, so how much snowfall will have on that region. So during that time, construction work might be get hampered. So these are the risks of your project, or might be there could be some political, we have election going on. So you during this election period, sometimes it's an external influence. The work sometimes get hampered, so you can consider it. And sometimes strike may happen and many things can happen. So these are your risks, and you can consider this to your schedule. You can decide your duration, and you can manage your schedule through resource allocation. So, uh, so I have already mentioned that as your project manager, you actually deal with the schedule, but still you need to understand a little bit about cost. At least if you don't know how to derive the cost, but at least you have to know what is the breakup of cost. So if you know the breakup of cost, then only you can apply it, right? You can apply it. So in industry, most of the time, what happens, like in MS project, people got to know like how much plants will be engaging, or how much quantities of material will involve in our project. But sometimes we don't focus on the overall part and how to correlate with the WBS and the cost breakdown structure. So I'll come on later on that. So let's understand with the very basic things. So what is the elements of the cost? So normally, if we consider the bottom up approach, that means just think in this hierarchy. Just see what is the bottom up approach here. The cost, the under cost, there is under cost. So under cost, there is direct cost and indirect cost. So direct cost, your LMP. Okay. So other than this LMP, we have indirect cost. And on top of this direct and indirect cost, we have markup, right? So let's see what is the correlation between the work breakdown structure and the cost breakdown structure. So can you please volunteer any one of you, or like what do you understand by work breakdown structure? Let's understand that first. What is a work breakdown structure? What is the WBS? What do you understand? Can you please reply? Can you, any one of you can volunteer? Turn on the mic. Anila
They're very
is
reluctant to speak.
okay. Okay, so Anila is typing. Breaking up a project in smaller parts. Very good. Very good. You are correct, Anila. So anyone else? So Anila is actually right. So it's the breaking up the project in smaller parts. Yes, it shows a hierarchy or chart which maps your project deliverables, your scope of work. Okay, it's maps the how you can distribute your tasks throughout the duration or the project timeline. So if you see this diagram, this is the representative of work breakdown structure, where it is written. Uh, so project where it is written, you can see in this. Is it visible to you? This chart, is it visible to you? This
The
chart.
chart is visible, but what is written in the tabular, that is not so visible. Maybe if you can zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
Cost breakdown structure is visible. The hierarchy of a project, that chart is actually not so visible.
Okay, I'm trying to, yes,
Yes, yes.
increase it. Okay.
Yes, it's fine now.
So it has a breakdown, right? Breakdown of work breakdown structure. So if you have the entire project here, so you have phases, then you have control accounts, you have contract accounts, you have work packages, you have planning packages. So this is how you have, right? So in that similar way, if you know the cost, so this is your cost structure, cost breakdown structure. Basically, that is your budget. So when you entered into a contract with any client or a contractor, you will have a contract sum. So the breakup of contract sum is the total cost, contract cost. With that, there will be profit and your fees. And then there will be contract budget. And under that, there will be performance management baseline and management baseline. So under management baseline, there will be distributed budget and undistributed budget. For you, I think it is little tough to understand, but if you think in a very smaller way, you'll understand it. So your distributed budget means, suppose you think how the project is in it start with the initiation phase, then planning phase, then execution phase, and your project closeout phase, right? So in initiation phase or conceptual phase, you actually will have a less information, right? You'll not have much information to develop a detailed work breakdown structure, right? And slowly how informations improves, or if you get more information, you can develop more accurate or more breakup of your work breakdown structure, right? So when you know the details, you can prepare your work breakdown structure, and as well as through rate analysis or through cost breakdown structure, you can prepare the cost for that task as well. So when you know the both your cost and your tax, that will be your distributed budget. That will be your distributed budget here. That will be your distributed budget. And that actually your work breakdown structure. So you can directly put your cost to that work breakdown structure. So this is the relation. So if you don't have the information in detail, so actually you don't consider it for your work breakdown structure. So that will you will not consider. So whenever you are moving with your resource allocation, so you have to ask to the commercial department or the budgeting department, or to a QS, you have to ask the budget. You have to, this will be the input. It will be the input for your cash flow, or for your MSP resource allocation. So you have to ask the budgets and what will be the breakup of work. So even in work breakdown structure, so that means in distributed budget, it can be further divided into two categories. That is work packages and planning packages. So work packages is
Ma'am,
basically you can, yeah,
sorry to
yes,
interrupt. I guess there are few students trying to enter and they are in the lobby, I guess. Can you admit
yes.
them if they are any?
So there is, I could see only Anila.
Yeah, please admit. Yeah, she's
Yes,
trying to
yes,
enter through the laptop. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So anyone left? I couldn't see anyone. Please tell me if because I'm getting into the lecture and I
Sure.
could.
I'll notify you in between. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. So coming back to the topic, um, so there in distributed budget there will be what packages and planning packages. So in an easy term, I will say what you can relate. Like we say we have civil contractor, right? We have civil contractor. If suppose there is a residential project and we have a residential project of fourth story building, and there are two towers we have. So we have decided like we will have our civil contractor, we'll have our electrical contractor, we'll have our HVAC contractors. So we call these packages, right? We'll call it packages. So when we become what packages, so when you can actually have the details, when every details your specifications is ready, when your BOQ is ready, so that is called the what packages. And when the details are not ready, when you still don't know and you have not finalized anything, probably you have decided I will do the tiling work, but what type of tiles you will use or what type of marble you will use, you don't know still yet. Probably you have decided that I'll put a very good lights, light fixtures, and I'll give a very good look for the interior of the residence. But you don't know how you'll do that at the initial stage. So what you'll do, so you don't know details, so you don't have exact work breakdown. Even you don't have the exact cost breakdown. So you cannot consider it in your schedule in a proper way. So that is your planning packages. So you just lump sum, you fix some cost and you allocate it. So this is your uh, planning packages. I hope you understand. Are you with me?
Students, if you have any queries, either drop it in the chat box or raise your hand and interrupt in between.
Yeah. Please
Please
let
don't
me know
hesitate
if
to
you
ask any doubt.
understand it.
I think you can continue, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. So So for your cost breakdown structure on additional information from where you can get it, like there is for RICS guidance note, we have NRM, new rules of measurement. So in new rules of measurement, you can get the work breakdown structure, how we generally prepare the work breakdown structure. If you're interested, you can check out. You can ask me. I can email it to you, the work. You can check that there. Other than this, you can also we have our forming, where you will get the all the BOQ items listed there. I'm speaking on the international standards. These are the international standards, and for Indian standards, we can follow IS codes for specifications, and also we can we for analysis of rate or cost breakup, we can follow the CPWD guidance. So let's understand the types of resources in MS projects. So now we understood in earlier slides, we understood what are the type of cost and what resource is actually means. Now in project management, you have to pull it together and put it in the same phase. Like, so you have to understand how it is, how resource is in our what type of resources are there in Microsoft projects. So there are three types of resources. One is work resources, second is material resources, and third is cost resources. So your work resources are all your labor, human. So all are human resources. That means personals. Other than personals, there will be no such work resources. So anytime you put any personnel or like any human people, human, so you have to mention it's like work resources. Second is material resources. Material is by name you can say it is material. But like it is physical resources, but sometimes we can allocate it like how we measure it, like cost per square feet. Sometimes we prepare the cost per square feet, like brick work or tiling work, or you can say the painting work. So these are we instead of giving the all the breakdowns of the painting works, like how much paints we require, how much labors we require, we don't put the entire breakup into that. We directly put for per square feet area of painting for this wall, we need this much of amount per square feet, something like that. Or for like this per square feet of tiling work, we need this much of amount or this much of cost, which basically you can get from the rate analysis. So here you can put directly on the material resources. It is not only that you have to put it for only for material. It is not like that. That means if you know the work packages, you can correlate now. If you know the work packages or your so you can per square feet area or per numbers or gross area, you can directly upload it through your material resources. And anyway, if you have some material like door frame, or like if you have window or stair and it is in numbers, so that also can be possible. So I'm giving you a flavor, like it is not material doesn't mean you it has to be really a material only. It can which can it can be work packages as well. And the third number is the cost resource. So cost resources are basically equipment rental fees or consultant fees, travel expenses, like that. So when I let's go to the previous slides. So I was telling this breakdowns where you have to allocate the undistributed cost, basically, which is not on your WBS probably sometimes, or maybe profits, or maybe you have some consultant fees you have. So how you can put that? So you can put that directly on the cost sheet. So there will be no breakup for that. So you can directly put on the cost sheet. So for resource allocation in MS projects, we have three steps while we'll do. So firstly, we'll have to go to the resource sheet, and next we have to go to the assigned resource, and then next is leveling the resource. So firstly, on resource sheet, what we do, we do like we'll have the list of resources, right? We'll have the list of resources. So on that resources we will list down in resources, and then in resource assigning we will just connect these resources with the tasks, with the individual tasks. And next level will see whether the resource are enough for that task or not, whether the resource is available for that task or not. If that personnel is not available probably, so we have to level it, right? I hope you are very known, and the theories in theories you have learned about leveling of resources, right? Sir, it was there in their theories, right? Leveling of resource.
Yes.
Oh,
Leveling of resource, yes. Theoretically, it was there. Practically, not shown to them.
okay. That is what I'm asking. If they
Yeah.
understand that concept, it will be good to explain.
Yes. Resource leveling and resource smoothing, it was there as theory, but not in the practical way.
Okay. So no worries. Resource leveling is basically it is for when you have some overlapping or some constraint of resources. So that time you have to check how you can manage the resource, or as Anila says earlier, like you can optimize it. You can optimize your resource. You can optimize the project plan. So for that, you actually require to know the leveling of resources. So let's jump to the practicals now. So let's have some hands-on experience. So are you ready for this? So do you have your computer with you?
Most of them are at home or either traveling. So yeah, they may be having difficulty to, have hands-on experience in that right now, I guess.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, they are having internship from coming Monday, and they will have to report to some places are far. So they are actually on getting into the place, have to go home, pick up the things, and then
Okay,
do the
okay,
reporting time on Monday.
okay. Okay, so who has, may I know like how many of you can access to your computer, can have the access? Because I'll get and understand. Otherwise, I'll not be knowing. No.
Students, please
Can you
drop
can you
an
please
info.
raise your hand, or it will be enough for me.
Anybody able to access your system? You have a laptop or system in front of you.
You can raise your hand. How many of you can access to your laptop or computer? Okay, so Anila has. Okay, so one person it seems can have experience, hands-on experience for now. So no
Others
one
will have to do
else.
it later, I guess.
Okay, okay, okay.
Maybe
So
we will
I'll.
arrange one more session later.
Yeah,
Maybe
because it's
that,
practical class, and giving only lectures make that sessions boring, right? And
yes.
if they actually don't apply it, they cannot apply that knowledge. So for that, I must insist that they must have this experience as well. Anyways, I am trying to cover it by lecture, if it is possible. So,
Sure. And then since it's a recorded session also, the link can be shared so that they can refer it and practice on their own.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I hope it is visible to you. My screen is visible to you. And I have landed in MS projects. This project I have already shared you all. I have shared to sir. So I hope sir has, you already have this project with you. Is it?
Yes, the file has been already shared via email.
Okay. Okay. So this project I have worked back in 2020, and this project is a residential building project. So I named XYZ projects, and under that, so we have some model flat. So some model flat is basically before the actual construction. Residential buildings, what generally developers prepare, they prepare a sample of the flat or the model of the flat, you can say, so that for the sake of their business, the customers can come and experience how the project it would be, and they can sell their product. So model flat, the construction of model flat become another small project. I have also shared a cost sheet to you, I guess. So I there There I have shown you. So let me check. So this is your budget actually, you can say, or your cost breakups for the construction of the model flat. Okay. So here, more or less, the quantities are calculated. These are approximate quantities, but it is almost like I have, when we have calculated, it was like most of the details were there. So it is more accurate. And we had a budget of 1.6 crore. And for this, we had the all work breakups. And for this, we have the cost breakups. We have quantities, unit of measurements, rates, and amounts. So we have decide the planning packages and work packages. So here I have mentioned the packages. So there are like these are the civil work. So it will go to the civil contractor. So one package is civil contractor, and second is putty and painting contractor. So second contractor is responsible for putty work, internal painting work, external painting work. And for flooring work, there is another packages where we have decided vitrified fluoride on bedroom and ceramic tiles, wall tiles, countertops, stair flooring, etc. And for window, we have aluminum windows, and along with the sliding doors. Sliding doors are also made of windows. So these together, these two activities will be in for another package. And other than this, we have these are your planning packages basically. So we don't have much details for that. So these are lump sum quantities you can check. I was telling you, directly put the cost over it. So it is these are your planning packages. These items are your planning packages where the glass facades, the approximate amount for glass facades we have, the external development and gardening for this budget we have. So these are your planning packages. Let's move on to the MSP. Okay. So we have our work breakdown structure like this. We have ground floor, first floor, second floor, and then vertical transport. I have made this breakup like this. So you can see the critical path are also showing here, and how the predecessors are also here, and all this. You already know all this till so if you go to the view tab, you can check the critical path as well. So this is my critical path. So let's go to the resource. So you can navigate to the resource sheet. If you remember, I have told firstly, if you go to if you have to go to the resource sheet. So for going to the resource sheet, there is many ways, several ways. So I'll show you the three ways for this. First of all, here in the top there is a resource button, resource option. So under resources, we have resource sheet here. We have resources. So this is your resource sheet. So if you want to back, so you can back, right click, and the Gantt chart option. So this is the first way you can navigate to the resources. Second way is you have to slide left side and right click. And from right click, you can go down and find the resource sheet. Here you can see the resource sheet. Click on the resource sheet. You have arrived in the resource sheet. So again, you go back to the left, right click, and then Gantt chart. So you are back. So this is the second way how you can navigate. And the third way is there is bottom at the screen. It is very similar to the Excel. So there is a very view option. In Excel, you can also see the same interface. So here you have the small icons. It's represent the view. Now you are in Gantt chart view. And if you click on this, this is your resource sheet. And this is a task uses. This again is Gantt chart view. So directly you can go to the resource sheet like this. Click on the icon and go to the resource sheet. So initially when there is three type of resource I have mentioned. So if you name some resource, so I have to put this resource. Can you see the screen?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay. Suppose I am for my project in the initial phase, I am assigning a project manager. That is very important. Being you all a project manager, I'm giving importance to it. So I'm putting project manager. Project manager as my resource. So I'll enter. On the resource name, I'll put project manager. Then click. So when as soon as you give a project manager, or as soon as you give a name of the resource, it will automatically consider it as a work resource by default. So it is if even though if you mention like there is sometimes if you write like brick, the brick is your material. But if you click on the resource name and put your brick and click, then it will come like work resource. So by default, it has says it is a work resource, and you have to change the resource type now. Here from here, you can change the type. So you could see here we have work, material, and cost. The three type of resource I have already mentioned. So MSP understand these three resources only. So whatever resources you have or whatever cost you have in your budget, that you have to allocate it in these three components. So let's show you how we can allocate the cost, your what resource. Before that, let me go to the information tab. So this is the information you can provide directly from here, or other than this, you can also go to the details tab or information tab. So if you click, like if you select a resource here, and then on the top from the ribbon, you can click the information. So here you can put all the information, like what is the group. Initial is basically, it takes automatically whatever the name of the resource you will provide the first, later it will take as the initials. Okay. And then in group, if you have some group, you mention like basically these are For naming purpose, you can use the code or group under which group it's are used, and the type of the, I was mentioning it here directly. So you can also give here the type of the resource, whether it is work resource, material resource, or cost resource. You can also, if it is work resource, then you can also the change the date of the calendar here. So that also you can do that. If you want to note something about the resource, then that you can do that. You can mention some notes about the, like, as I'm assigned the project manager, I can mention that name of the project manager or qualification of the project manager. These are the information you can write, or whatever the list. If it is labor, you can mention what type of labor, whether it is skilled labor or unskilled labor, or some necessary information you can write in the notes. Initial, I have mentioned it. And for work resource, you have to do it like here in the max. Max means what? It means the units, it's the maximum units, that means your quantity. So you have to put here in terms of percentage. Suppose you have one manager, but you have to put it here in 100%. That means one manager. If you have a site engineer, like two site engineers, three site engineers, so you have to put 200 or 300, like that. If you have like put three or four, it will automatically count like 100, like that only. Then you have rates here. Every people, whether the manager, the project manager is getting paid in hourly basis or monthly basis or yearly basis, it won't understand that. In Microsoft project, they understand what resource mean, it will be getting paid per hours. So you have to convert the total salary or total package into hourly rate. So this is the catch. So here you have to convert, for work resources, you have to convert the salary into per hour rate. Then it will automatically calculate. Okay. So overtime rate generally during the calendar, that is why I have asked you if you know about the calendar or not. While setting up the calendar, you have to mention the total working hours per day, like 8 hours per day or 4 hours per day or half hours per day, whatever, or 10 hours per day, 12 hours per day, whatever you are considering for that project, particular project, you can you can mention in your calendar. So beyond that hour, working hour, it will consider as overtime rate. So if you think like there is 1 hours of overtime or 4 hours of what overtime you'll consider for the some specialized type of work, and probably for the sake of the project, probably overnight they will work and complete the projects. Some probably some interior work or some specific work. Probably if you have permission, you can engage that labor for that work, and for that you have to give the overtime rate. That is also per hour rate. Cost per uses is related to your material. It is not related to your work resource. So accurate amount, it is very important to understand about accurate amount. It is basically tells you how you will pay to that particular resource, or like if it is a work packages, suppose it is a civil contractor, it is a civil contractor, and you decided to pay him after the work is done. Okay, so you can select it. We have a three options here. One is start, second is prorated, and second is end. So you decide like if you decide to give the advance amount. Sometimes we give advance amount for enabling work or mobilization of the work. So in that case, we put some advance amount. So in that case, you have to assign payment accurate amount in start. And if you want that with the time the cost will be distributed, then you have to click on pro rata. And if you decide, okay, at the end of the you work at the end of the project, I will pay, no, I will pay the every bill or amount. Or sometimes like you decide, okay, for particular for this work, whenever you will assign, after that after that payment will be done when you put the invoice. So like generally what happens, like after each task, people no, contractor raise the invoice, they checks their invoice and it's get paid. So generally most of the cases we click on the end. Or sometimes for the sake of when we do not have the exact amount, because we have a composite cost like material and labor together. In that case it will be very tough to find the end cost. Probably you decide, I'm booking the material in between, or I'm not getting the payment but my cost is getting allocated. So we decide mm, uh, k- uh, to distribute in as a prorated cost. So you click on the prorated. Okay, so next is base. It is basically your calendar. So it asks you what calendar you will follow. So if you have many calendars set in your MS projects, so you will see the list here, and you can just select which resource will follow which calendar. So it's suggested to follow the same calendar throughout your project. What you will decide, so it will be easy to handle for that. I hope you understood up to this work resource, the category of work resource, and how you'll enter it in your resource sheet. You understood it, is it? Please respond to me. I will understand it better whether you are with me or not. Otherwise, it will be just a one-way interaction. So please reply to your chat box whether you understood or not, or if you have any doubt regarding your work resources. Please reply me on the chat box. So basically, your resource is actually you all. It will be very easy for you to understand if I talk if you tell you about this AI. So these days AI is very popular, right? So if I talk about Chat GPT, so are you are you all aware of Chat GPT? That you can reply, right? Are you aware of Chat GPT? Please reply on the chat box. Are you all sleeping? After post lunch, it's become very hectic, for everyone to attend the session, even if it is a long session for 3 hours. I understand. Okay, so Harijit, if I am not pronouncing wrong, so it's Harijit says yes, he knows ChatGPT. Githi says yes. She or I don't know, Githi. Probably she knows ChatGPT, right? Yes. So in ChatGPT, what you need to do first to get our so Karmal is also typing, Anila is also typing. Let me see what they are typing. Providing a prompt, correct. You are at the right phase, and Anila. Anila is very, it seems she knows many things. She is very smart, Anila. Yeah, so uh, it's good. So you are on the right track. This is what I wanted to mean. So providing a prompt, providing a right prompt. If you provide a right prompt, it will give you accurate result. You know how good you are in giving your prompt. That means you train your AI, or you give your instructions, or you give your inputs. If I talk about the project management, PMBOK, it's very very famous in PMBOK. In project management, everything is has input, tools, and techniques, and output, right? So if you don't give your inputs properly, it cannot, software cannot process it. No, if software cannot process it and cannot give you the good output. So if you have to give some good inputs. So the resource sheet is like that only. Your resource sheet is your prompt, you can say. You can correlate with this. Your resource is your prompt, where you have to train, or you have to give the information. What is that machineries you require? What materials you require? Or how you are going to execute that? And these you have to train. And what would be the cost per square feet? What will be the unit of your square? Whatever the information, the detail of information you provide, and it in does in that manner it will give you the result, the output. At the end, you'll see how beautifully it will distribute the cost, and you can easily generate the cash flow statement. Okay, so moving on to the subject again. I hope my screen is still visible to you.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, so I am assigning um, a project manager. So here I have considered one project manager, and from my resource sheet, you must download here in, I mean, later when you follow this, you must follow the resource sheet what I have provided to you. So from there, you can put the resources here in the resource sheet. So I am just putting, okay, so before putting the rate here, let me decide 550 per hour. Okay, so one project manager will get per hour 550 per hour. Okay, so sometimes you will get that it is in dollar. The rate is, it will be in dollar in your MS project. So how you can change that dollars to, how you can change the currency of from dollar to Indian rupees, or probably if you work in some other countries like Oman or in Middle East. So probably you have to convert the currency into dirham. So you can change it. For that you have to go to the file, and then you have to go to the option. An option, you'll have to go to the display. So you can see here it's currency button. So I have changed from dollar to INR. So you can change it as per the project requirement. Okay. So I'll simply click on OK for now. So next resource, I will put another like site engineer. Civil. So automatically it takes work resource, and then S as the initial site, as it is a site engineer, starts with S. So it is S, and group will be blank, and it is automatically taken 100%. So suppose I'm putting 200 because I am engaging two site engineers. So 200%. So I'm putting 250 per hours for site engineers per hour for a single site engineer. Next, I could see from my resource sheet, I have for let's do that for door frame. Let's say door frame and shutter along with both. So if I write door, by default it's coming, it's type of the resources work, but I have to change it to material. So in material, you have to mention the material units. So it's your material column is for your unit of measurement. So what you were not mentioning earlier in the work resources, because it was mentioned directly in the rate. So it is actually considered like per hour basis. So you no need to put it in unit of your work resources. But whenever you will put any material type of resource, you have to specify what is the unit of measurement for that resource. Like door here, I will put in numbers. So you do not put what is the quantity of the door here, but you have to put the what is the rate per unit here. What is the rate per unit? So I have to check from the resource sheet for door. What is the rate per unit? Suppose here it is mentioned, it is 9,500. Please excuse me. Okay, so here everything is by default it is showing it is distributed prorated. The cost is prorated. I can change it like at the end if I want. And here it's prorated. I want the cost to be prorated per monthly. I want my site engineers to get paid. And for project managers as well, I want to get paid at the at prorated basis. So I select on prorated. Let me input another type of resource. Let's say uh, for let's say for AC, for AC cost I'll put. So AC you can put directly in as a material, because AC is generally comes in numbers. So you can put as number and put the what is the cost of the AC. But in the other way, you can put it as a cost resource. As a cost resource. Why it is cost resource? Because you can consider you don't know the what will be the specification of the AC. Probably you have not decided yet, and probably you want to put it lump sum, some lump sum amount. So in that case, you have to assign it like cost report. It's a cost type of resource. So for now, I am putting in number. So it is material resource, and I'm putting the cost as numbers and with installation. Like it is a per AC with installation. So the amount will be with installation. So let me put the rate. The 32,000. So I decide it after installation, the payment will be getting paid. So I'll decide, I'll do it as a end. So both the cases, the calendar, here the calendar won't work. If you notice, for this material type of resource, the calendar will work. So this is the catch point you have to remember, guys. So for material resources or cost resources, what is linked with this? For material resources, this material is unit of measurement. You have to mention that, and this calendar is owned work, and the standard rates. Basically, you have to mention that. And for work resources, you have to mention the calendar, because you have to allocate that resource. So basically for materials, you cannot label it properly. Technically, you cannot label it. Labeling here in MSP is basically done for the human resources. Human resource, or like any professional or any label like that, you can label that resource. Okay, so I have shown you for what resource, material resource. For next, I have to show one cost resource. I will consider that external development and gardening. So I have just double clicked here, and I have arrived at the information tab. I can put the resource name here. In that manner, I can also do. So I have to change the resource type. It is cost. And for cost resource, you no need to do anything unless you have to only put the when you want to get paid, whether it's prorated or start or end. So I clicked it as prorated, and I will put the cost when I will assign the resource to the particular task. So this is the difference for the cost resource. Or you can So these are my resource sheet. If you have your assignment ready, I have forwarded to you. So you will have your all the resource sheet. So basically, you have to practice it how to allocate these resources, and you can just try to put all the cost here, and you have to decide how you will distribute this resource. What is the type of resource you have to identify, or the types of resources, and put it here. uh, uh, like I'm showing you. You have to follow this sheet. Here you have to, in assignment, I'm talking. In assignment, you have to put these resources. And now you have to decide by saying the activities, whether you are going to put the resources by cubic meter, per cubic meter, or as per the cost sheet, like for civil contractor or putty contractor. In that manner, you are going to put the resources or not, or how you are going to allocate it. I must suggest you must go by these activities. You will find all the activities there in the schedule, and the quantities are mostly for one. For the entire project, it seems. So you can, for your easy convenience, you just can distribute in 3 floors. There are 3 floors, right? On the schedule I have shown you. There are 3 floors. One is ground floor, first floor, and second floor. For easy convenience, you can just distribute the quantities for first floor, second floor, and third equally. You can distribute and put it to your resource, assign it to your schedule. Okay, so in that way, your task is like you have to identify the resources and what is the type of the resources and how you will allocate. Whether you will going to allocate per number, per meter, or directly as a work package. How you are going to allocate it. I'm back to the MS project now. So let's go to the task Gantt chart view. Okay. So first resource I have allocated, I have listed is project manager. So project manager, I will assign it to the enter to the summary tasks. So basically project managers are always single in the project. So he will oversee all the tasks. So I'll not assign it to any particular work like this or this PCC work, or any other tasks, aluminum shuttering work. I will not assign them. I will directly assign on the summary tasks. So if I consider this summary tasks, it seems like it's a ground floor. So it is not required to assign here. Directly, I will assign to the project level, or uh, one step down. It's a level 2 level I can assign. So to assign the task, I will select the task and go to the resource tab, and then click on assign resources. As soon as I click on the assign resources, there will be one dialog box where I could see the list of the resources what I have already listed down in the resource sheet. This resource, I could see the name of the resources. So here I want to assign project manager. So I'll click on project manager here one, and then click on assign. So it is showing tick mark here. That means this resource is allocated here. It is done. So assign is inactive now for this resource. If I click here, you can see the assign button. That means it is not assigned yet. If you want, you can assign it. Okay. So next I'm showing you for what resource I have. Door frame, right? So let's check out where is the door frame. Yeah. So here I have door frame. So another way to assign resources to navigate to that sheet, I can just go to slide to the left and click here. Okay, sorry, my mistake. So, okay, so you just click on the task and click right and then assign resources. So this is how you can easily, quickly do this. So here I'm assigning door frame. So I'm just, it is, let me check. This is for 2 BHK or 3 BHK. Minimum, I don't know exact quantity. Suppose for demonstrating purpose, I'm putting door frame 6 numbers. Units is 6. Okay, so assign. Cost is coming 0. So I have to check why the cost is coming 0. Let me check in the cost sheet and resource it. Okay, door frame, it seems like I have not mentioned in any rates here. So I have to mention the rates. Let's go back and check the door frame. Okay, so you can see the cost now. So 6, I have assigned the 6 number of door frames and automatically it has calculated. That means you have given your prompt in the resource sheet and it is giving you the result. So in that way, you can assign the material. Now let me show you the cost resource. Assigning the cost resource, let's go down. Here I have the external development and gardening. So I want to assign the resource. So I can directly go to the resource on the top and then assign resource. So I have this external development and gardening. Okay, so here you can see there is no units because I have told you you have to put the cost directly. It will not calculate because you don't have any details. You cannot give the prompt. So it cannot calculate properly. So you have to put it manually. So you have to see the cost and put it manually. Let me check the cost. Somehow it's not showing. I also need to check this. Okay. Somehow it's not working here. So mostly you understood for work and material resources, right? How to assign it. Do you have any confusion for material resource and work resource about how to assign it?
Students, you can respond or either drop message in the chat box.
I hope either everyone is understanding or no one is understanding. What should I think now?
I think you can move forward with the session, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So if anything doubt, you can ask me. I can get clarified to your answer, or you can. Okay, so Anila Babu is writing, is typing. Understanding. Okay, okay, okay. Very good. So actually, it's almost 2 hours now. And I think we should take a break for 15 minutes, and you can just check the documents I have shared to you, or the sir shared to you. Please take that and try to correlate whether you understand and understood it not. And since if you are not with your computer, it is very difficult to give you hands-on experience. So. Uh, let's see for next time when you can get your computer ready, you can try it. So take a 15 minutes break and come back after 15 minutes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
I guess we'll have to start the session. Others may or may not join.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then I will start.
Yeah, we can start.
So I earlier I have already explained you about resource seat and resource allocation. I mean, assigning the resources. Now, no, I have basically shown how you can allocate your work resource and your material resource. And for cost resource, I have some technical difficulties here in the software. Probably that's why I unable to show you. But exactly what you do is you have to do like you have to in the same process how I have shown it to you. go to the task sheet, Gantt sheet view, go to the task. Here, and you can assign resources. And here it is already assigned. So this amount will automatically come if you have to put the amount here. So you can assign here. So it is not coming. Some bug is there on my software. That's why it's not coming here. So next I'll show you how we can level the resource. So you already know what is the resource leveling is. Basically, it is for constraint. If you have a constraint of resources, like you due to some shortage of probably in the probably in the market there is shortage of skilled labors. So some specific types of work you have, and for that you need very special laborers who have very skilled, specially trained laborers, and you don't have very easy available in that skilled labor in the market, and that's why you cannot put as many as labor in that project. In that case, you can only have a limited resource, like suppose you have planned for 3 special carpenter for a single day, so you cannot assign more than 5 laborers or more than 3 laborers or more than probably for your work you allocate 5 laborers for some tasks, but automatically it will show in your project that you have over allocated. That means you don't have that quantity or that number with you, but you have over allocated. So for now, I'm showing you in this resource set, I have project manager. So it is the constraint. For every project, we generally have one project manager. So I have assigned one project manager here. You can see it is 100%. That maximum quantity is 100%, means one project manager only. So I can assign one project manager. So if I assign more than one project manager, so it will indicate in my Gantt chart view. So I have assigned, if you remember, I have assigned the project manager in this summary task. Let's check on that. For checking, I will double click or I'll just right click and click on assign resources and check the tick mark. So I have the list. How we'll understand what resources is allocated here? It will be I could see the click. I could see the right mark. So this is this project manager is allocated in this task. So project manager is allocated. So let's assign it once again. Already assigned. So it is assigned 100%. Let's increase it to 200%. So this is showing you the message. This allocation cannot be resolved. Project manager is over allocated. So it is a upper, so skip all or skip, it is showing because it is an updated version. So in earlier version, you can see it will click, but here in indicator, it will show that it is over allocated. So now it is so 200%. And how you'll understand here, generally you will get the indicator column here. If you don't have the indicator column here, just click the right click and insert column, and here you type indicator. So here in indicator, you can see it's a red indicator showing that work resource is red in color. That means it's over allocated. It is written, this task has over allocated resource, right click for the options. That means you have to level it. It is over allocated. You have to level it. Either you have to reduce it, or you have to go to the resource sheet and increase the number of resource. So you can check it. I'm going to the resource sheet. It is also showing here red mark here. And these resources are normally normal in black in color, it's a default color. And if it is red in color, that means it is over allocated, something wrong in that. Even here a message is coming. You can, if you move your cursor here, it will tell you the details. This resource is over allocated. So now what you can do, you can increase the number. I have mentioned the maximum quantity is 200. So the red mark is gone here. So now let's check, go back to the main sheet. So now you see this indicator, it's not showing the red mark. That means it is leveled. But generally what happens, like project managers are always one in a single project. So I'll keep it 100. That means one project manager. So again, it is showing red mark. That is over allocated. That means I have to reduce there in my tasks, in my assigning sheet. For that, I will once again select that task, go to the assign resource, and then resource the quantity, reduce the quantity. Reduce the quantity in 100%. So you can see it now, the indicator, the red indicator is not showing you, it is over allocated. That means it is leveled. So this is all about leveling. So you can, I can give you another task in share you the another documents where you can just put the quantities and check how it is working, and you can level that. So hope you understood this resource leveling. Please comment the chat box if
I guess you can move forward, ma'am.
okay. One more thing I can show you in resource leveling. That is your so you also have the level resource, what automatically can level the resource. Here, leveling option, you can click automatic. So in that case, it will level the resource, all the resources, as per its understanding, its own understanding. Software will level the resources, but generally it is not suggested to allocate the resources automatically, because if you go to the tasks and see the individual resources and understand it's how it is going to be changed, and it will be more practical. So it is always said, if it is some resources over allocated, do not go for the automatic leveling. You can go for the manual leveling. Okay, so can we start the baseline, sir? Can we start the baseline concepts and baseline?
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Okay, so I will tell you about the baseline now. So let's normally talk about the other examples of baseline. How you feel like, suppose you are going for a trip, and you have your budget ready and you have your itinerary details ready, like which day you are going to go where, which places you decide, and even how much you are going to spend on that particular places you have already decided. But as you plan, whenever you plan, it is not like it will be exactly like that, it will happen exactly like that. It doesn't happen like that, right? So when you actually go to that place, sometimes you see that the time is taking to view that particular place is more. So the duration you considered to visit for that place probably get increased. Probably that place is overcrowded and you have to stand on the long line, and you cannot just go there and finish your visit in your pre-decided time. So the duration will be more, right, in that case. And some places maybe you thought that okay, I'll go by car, but when you went there and you check that the car fare has gone raised, and you probably you have to spend more for availing the car, or probably you have to go by bus if you want to save the cost. So in that case, probably you will be spending less if you go by bus. So this is how your actual spending and actual visiting time or duration will be changed after the execution or during the execution. So exactly it happens when the construction projects are executed, because it's a construction projects are very complex in nature. And basically, if you know the definition of the planning, it says it is flexible to change. Its plans are decided, pre-decided, but it is flexible to change. And it is the exactly the project manager's duty to foresee the risks. What is the risks, or what is the problem, or what are the situation is going to be arrived during the execution, uh, to foresee that and allocate that risks to their schedule, and as well as into cost. I understand cost, for cost sometimes for that we have cost managers, or for commercial experts are there who will who will calculate the cost, will calculate the risks and consider into their cost or into the budget. But for all project managers, you have to you have to do it, and you have to consider it in your schedule for a realistic schedule. So so baseline is that when you plan something, so that is your baseline. That means the reference. So from that reference, you actually you compare from that reference, right? So for the definition, you can say a project baseline is a fixed reference point. So fixed reference point used to compare what actually happened during the execution. Okay, so normally you can say it's the plan versus actual. It's the plan versus actual. Okay, so generally what happens? So what is the purpose of this comparison? So generally in actual scenario, I'm telling, suppose during your initial phase or during your planning phase, you prepared your schedule, and that time you thought you checked the weather forecast of 10 years, and you have also checked the weather with you have also checked the past records of the last 10 years of rainfall data probably. Yeah, and now you have considered, okay, you know the quantity of the rainfall and you know how much is going to affect your schedule. So you take a buffer for that. You have used a float for that in your schedule during that particular period of time of monsoon because of the rainfall. But sometimes what happens is suddenly during the execution, what you see, the rainfall quantity suddenly has increased, and the intensity of the rainfall as well as the intensity of rainfall has increased. So in that case, what will happen, like it will be a delay of the project, right? And the delay will happen, like there will be adverse situation, adverse climatic condition. So in that situation, you cannot foresee it. You know, everything is possible. It's not possible to foresee it. Or maybe sometimes it may happen somewhere the strike happens suddenly. So you are unable to foresee it when you have prepared the schedule. So the work got interrupted and you are unable to execute that work in that level. Or probably sometimes it may happen that you have your contractor, but you have decided in your contract when client is basically sign a contract paper with the contractor, during that time only they decide within that period of time. uh, you have to complete the work. Basically, the client and contractor both together decide the baseline. What will be your baseline? And with that reference, they decide, or they compare what is the actual scenario, whether the task got delayed and whether the task is not delayed. And sometimes it may happen the contractor is not performing well, probably they due to their non-performance, the tax due to the shortage of labor, maybe shortage of material, or maybe there could be many reason for your delay, and contractor has delayed the tax. So in that case, what will happen, contractor has to compensate the client. They have to pay the liquidity damages. So it is so when it is some cost is associated with the delay, that means you have to track it, right? You have to fix the baseline. So this is the reason why baseline is very much important. And this is your fixing your reference line is very important. Sometimes there should be a dispute, there could be argument between client and contractor. Sometimes contractor might say, no, this is not my due to my fault, this is because of your fault. During that time probably I was ready, but or maybe the contractor might say the laborers was ready, or maybe laborers were not ready. It is my fault as well. But in that time, you also not given the your approvals, or probably your drawings was not ready. That's why it is also your fault. So there could be arguments. Okay, so for that reason, it is important on the very initial stage to decide the references, and to decide the reference and fix the baseline, so that nobody can blame, and you could have their documented, everything can be documented. And you can do it in your software. You can fix your baseline. You can put the reasons why the delay happened, how many days the delays happens, and who was the responsible in the delay, and what is the cost impact. Even you can, if there is how I talked about your budget, suppose it in projects might be in like 6 months of delay, or maybe more than 1 year of delay, it can happen. So during that longer period of time, the rate of material might change. So if your material rate get changed, so entire rate can be changed. So your budget will be changed. So in that case also, for tracking, or you must say to know the exact amount, exact cost or exact duration what happened, or what time it was started or what time it was finished. So for that reason we have to check the baseline. So in MS projects, we have baseline. You can say we have 14 types of baseline. So I will talk about the baseline for how it is 14 types of baseline. So before that, let me tell you, there is option like how many times you can set the baseline. Okay, so you actually can set the baseline 11 times. So why it is so 11 times? Why it is so? So as I have mentioned earlier, so when it starts from the planning phase or conceptual phase, so before starting that execution, you will have your you will keep changing your designs. Might be you will getting the information. So your informations, the level of information you get with the phases and with the time. So your work breakdown structures or a schedule will be improved. In that case, sometimes what happens, you decide with along with the both parties, clients and the contractor, you decide, okay, when we set the baseline, first baseline, that time probably this informations was not ready, and together you decide, okay, now these drawings has been changed, we have revised the drawing and we have revised some scope of work. So let's change that, and let's fix the baseline once again. So you can change the baseline once again. So together they decide the baseline. So what you can do, you can just copy the baseline and keep a record of the baseline, and create your next baseline. So in that way, you can create 11 times, total 11 times you can create your baselines here in MS projects. So more than that it is not applicable. Even it is not suggested to fix your baseline for 11 times. Basically it is okay to go with 3 4 baselines. 3 4 times is maximum. Generally I never do that. I did maximum three times. So more than that I never did fixing a baseline. Okay, and next coming to the type of baseline. So is it visible to you, sir? Can you guide me? Is it visible to you? This screen? This screen, I mean
Yes, ma'am.
this. Okay.
Baseline
So
in MS project screen is visible. 14 types of baseline.
okay, good. So, what are the type of baselines? So there are 14 types of baselines. So how it will come? Baseline means simply you can relate baseline of cost, baseline of duration, baseline start, baseline finish, like that only. There'll be combination of baselines. Okay, like you have 11 baselines. So 11 baselines. So how many times you have, like if you have baseline 10, so baseline 10, for baseline 10 you will have one baseline 10 for a duration, baseline 10 start, baseline 10 finish, like that. Or if you have baseline 2, you say, so then they will be having baseline 2 estimated cost, baseline 2 cost, like that. So mostly you can check when you get access to your computer. You can check this, how many baselines you have. Generally it is important, like what is the type. Generally don't go by the numbers, go by the names, like cost, baseline cost, or baseline duration, baseline start, baseline finish, like that. So baseline cost is very important, baseline start is very important, baseline finish important, baseline duration is important, and baseline. So these are the things you must check with your computer, and you have to work with these baselines. I'll show you while I'll explain it in the MSB. So let's see in the MSP now. We'll hop on to the MS project. So we'll go to the square box on the top corner here. If we right click, we can go to the tracking. So here we can see it is actual start, actual finish, percentage column is coming. Okay. So one more thing I will show you before I show you the baseline. The same thing. Go to the square box, click right, then go to the cost sheet here. So here also you can see your fixed cost is there, fixed cost accrual. That means how you have mentioned how the cost will be distributed in that way. And next is total cost. Total cost is your, I have allocated few costs, that is it is showing here total cost, and the baseline cost is 0. Okay, because I have not set any baseline here. So if I set the baseline, so that means this is the cost I have already loaded, cost already I have loaded. So it will just copy here and paste here automatically if I freeze the baseline. So after that, if I update my project, this total cost will might be changed, like it as per the actual, because I'll put the actual start, actual cost, actual duration, actual scenario I'll put. In that way it might change here in cost sheet as well. So in variance basically you will see here in this variance sheet, it's cost variance. In cost sheet, variance means you will see the cost variance. But if you go to the tracking, sorry, on okay, so here also you could see how much percentage I have not updated. So here also you see it is the percentage completion is blank. So these are the few things you could see when you decide a baseline. Before that, there is no change for that. So let me go to the Gantt chart view. And go to the project. And here we have option of set baseline. So here we have set baseline. One is clear baseline. So by clear baseline, you can understand that if you do any mistakes or probably anything error, by error it happened, like by mistake you update any wrong thing or any so you can clear the baseline. And let's go to the set baseline. So here we have, I have told you there are 10 options. You can set your baseline for 10 times. Okay. And if I go to the tracking sheet, let me go to the cost sheet. So if I see, I'll show you this. See, there is baseline cost, baseline duration, baseline estimated duration, baseline estimated finish, baseline finish. So similarly, it will the same for baseline one. Baseline one, budgeted cost, baseline duration, baseline finish. Same, similarly, here will be for baseline 10, baseline 2, baseline 3. So you can check it. You can scroll down and you can check. Okay. It's a very simple thing, just the concept you have to understand. Here in MSP, it is easy. Okay, so set a baseline. I can go back to the Gantt chart view. Okay. You have to select the tasks what you want to set as baseline. But generally what happens when you prepare the entire project, you just select the all tasks, because after few days you are going to track it. So the entire tasks is better to select the entire tasks and then go to the project and set baseline. So I have already, it seems I have already set my baseline. It says it give you the last date when you have saved. So it shows I have saved this on Saturday, 1st February 2020. So I have to click on OK. So if I OK, then it will change for today's. Today's date will be changed. Okay. And previous whatever the data I have earlier said, it will replace that. Okay. So for now, I am not changing. You can click OK and save it. Okay. So another thing I am telling you, it is very important, and there is a catch here also. So there is option called set interim plan. So if you click on that, it will say you can copy any baseline to another baseline. Okay. So this is the purpose I was telling you. The function of set interim plan, it is just a snapshot of the baseline that you have set. So basically what happens, like how I have earlier mentioned, if you are setting a baseline on the initial day, suppose you have set this baseline, I have set this baseline 1, baseline. So after few months, probably after 2 months or 3 months, I have thought, okay, there is some details work has come, or there is some changes in the project. So we have decided to shift our baseline. So, but I want to keep a record of the first baseline. I don't want to delete it. I want to keep a record. And in case I want to see and compare or check according to my first baseline, I can do that. And it is sometimes it's happened like we had our information there, probably after if we decide to check from the past baseline, I have to see, so I have to keep a copy of it, right? So to do that, we use the set interim plan. In that case, how will copy? I'll just click copy baseline. That means this baseline will be copied to, like, wherever I want to, I can copy up to baseline 10. Let's say I'll copy at baseline 10. So, okay. So it is saved as baseline 10. Okay. So if you check again, go to set baseline. So here you can see baseline 10 is showing the same name. Last saved on Saturday, 1st February 2020. And here it is shown last saved on February Friday, last saved on Friday 17th 2024. So it it has the same thing, same copied here. Okay, I could have copied here this to baseline 9 or baseline 8, whatever it's that. But generally what happens, like people generally like in second in it is baseline I set. If I set my next baseline, I will set it like on baseline 2. So I'll click on baseline 1, I will set baseline. So in third baseline, what during for third baseline, what will happen? I will just copy the baseline 2. Here I will copy the baseline 1 to baseline 9. Okay, so this is how it will work in the actual scenario. You can do that. You can keep a copy and you can proceed in that way. So let's check. I have saved my baseline. So what is the change now? Let's check. Let's go to the faucet. I'm already on the faucet. So yeah. So here you can see the cost sheet is 0. Okay, let me check once again. So generally on baseline, this will come. So baseline cost. Say baseline 10 I have copied and I have worked that time. Baseline 10, I mean baseline 1, I don't have anything, any cost loaded during that time. So I don't have any information here, but I have loaded the cost now. So I have set the baseline on baseline 10. So I have it is the same thing, the total cost. It is the same thing here in baseline 10 cost. So this is the beauty of using software. Like it will work automatically. So next, when you update, you could see the variance. Now you don't have any variance. In variance, it's showing the same thing. So if you go to the task sheet, if you could see the work view. Okay. So no variance is there. Let's go to the variance sheet. So here in baseline start, basically, it's not applicable is showing. This may enter baseline 10 start. So it has copied the same thing. What we have in start, we have copied here. Same thing. It will show the copy. And if let's say I changed from baseline 10 to, let's say I want to see the duration. So I will check baseline 10 duration. So it will be the same. It's just take the snapshot. We don't have the duration here. Let's enter one column. Then duration. Yes. So you could see it is the same. It's just copied duration from baseline duration. So that's all for today's session. So you don't have a laptop, so it is very difficult to explain all the things today and overload you. So it's better we connect next week, and or probably I will discuss the schedule. Uh, but the thing is, I would request you to practice, because it's software and I have given you a lot of concepts today. So if you don't practice, so you'll not be get the hands-on experience. So you have a good opportunity now, because you are going for the internship now. So you can probably tell them or ask them to give some schedule. You can check their schedule, how it works, or you can ask them, you can check them how they allocate their budget, or how they load their budget. You can check with them. If they don't want to disclose with you, you can at least ask, try to get some information about the budget sheets or small projects you can take, and try to do it by your own. uh, it will give you the uh, um, the flavor of applying things. If you do mistakes, I'm going back to the first slides. If you apply, if you do mistakes, then only you will get experience. So it's better to do mistakes. Don't even I do mistakes every day. So, and this is how I have learned. I am chartered engineer right now, and I do mistakes and I learned. And there is no harm in doing mistakes. So this is how you will learn it well. So don't fear for mistakes. Hope this session was helpful. And if you have any doubts, any queries, you can email to me, nomita@alphalearnings.com, or you can connect me on LinkedIn. You can inbox me there, and or you can connect to sir. Sir can convey your message to me, and I can write you back. So thank you for being with me, and thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you once again to all of you for your participation. And actually, I must say it's your active participation. You all participated well in the beginning. So I hope next time we will be, I will see you with the laptop, or with your system on. So that will be much better. Okay, that's all for today. It is already 5.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, the participation was good in the beginning, and I don't know what happened towards the end. Uh, anyway, like you said, the students need to be in front of
Yes,
system
yes.
for doing the practicality of it. So next time I'll make sure that they have their system in front of them. So we will schedule the next session also in that manner, especially updating the schedule, tracking and monitoring. They
Correct,
actually
correct.
need to work on the system.
Yes,
So
yes.
students, for you also, just like ma'am had shared the prerequisite that I shared in the email, you can work on that file, working MSP file. And like I always suggest, make a copy of that parent file, keep it safe, and then work on the read file, so that whatever you do don't get tampered to the originality of that working MSP file. Otherwise, in the system, it may get some glitches. So make sure you work on that, the baseline concept and the resource leveling concept ma'am had shared today. So try to work out on your own in that file. Thank you. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time.
Okay.
We will connect again.